So let's look at what the action is. I'm doing it in a match grip position. You just swap it around for the traditional grip. I'm starting with the front of the stick. I've got my elbow out. And most importantly, I'm shuffling my fulcrum up towards the middle of the stick. I don't want to play back here where I normally would. Okay, that's a really great position for playing, but of course if I flip to the back end of the stick, I've got not much butt to work with, and I might be able to get a weak note, but I'm certainly not going to have a lot of control. So I need to compromise my normal playing position a bit, shuffle up towards the middle of the stick. I don't want to be right in the middle of the stick. I want my thumb and finger forming a fulcrum just behind the middle of the stick, which means I'll still be able to, even though it's really hard work, I'll still be able to use my fingers to get some power and produce some double strokes and use finger control there with the fulcrum just behind the middle of the stick. Okay, so it's not as easy, it's not like playing back here, but you can, shuffling up the stick, at least still get some notes, even though you have to work your fingers really hard. Now, from this position, as I swing my elbow in, okay, the stick will come up to 90 degrees. As I do that, I want to let the stick come up. I'll let these fingers come off the stick. The stick rotates in the fulcrum the way it normally would. And now I've got this open hole back here at the base of the thumb, okay? And what I want to do is let the stick fall down onto that open hole. I'm still holding the stick just behind the middle of the stick so that as it falls into this position, as it falls into that spot there, because that's further back, that's going to be forming my new fulcrum at the base of the thumb in the traditional grip spot there, okay? But that's going to be actually, once again, just behind the middle of the stick, so a little bit further towards the tip of the stick from slightly behind the fulcrum from the perspective of my new traditional grip. Then I actually want to do all the things I would do with these fingers to create a full traditional grip. I'll pull these fingers around, okay, and I'll have this finger on top of the stick. That's pretty important for getting control and not putting too much stress on the fulcrum, to get this finger on top of the stick there, okay, and that way I can play the way I normally would. Although once again, because I'm more in the middle of the stick, I really have to work my arm a lot and so forth to get the notes. Okay, it's not quite as nice as playing a bit further back the way we normally would. So each position is a compromise. We're further into the middle of the stick than we would normally like to be, but from each position, and this is the crucial point, you're actually making your fulcrum just behind the middle of the stick. I start off there, just behind the middle of the stick. As the stick rotates, it comes up to there. I let go with the tip of the stick there, where I let go with these fingers, and the new fulcrum is kind of a little bit further back there. When I go back to the front, the same thing sort of happens in reverse. I actually use these fingers here to kind of grip the stick back here, and as I turn the stick back over and swing my elbow back out, I'm going to let go with my fulcrum at the thumb here and kind of slide that stick back there, so that as it rotates, I'm able to, see I'm holding it in these other fingers here, and I'm now able to position my thumb and finger, index finger, to make a proper fulcrum again, once again just behind the middle of the stick. So you can see this motion, I'm sort of doing it slowly now, and you see the elbow swinging out and in, and you'll see that every time I'm making a grip, I'm sliding that fulcrum slightly across the middle of the stick. So I'm just slightly behind the middle of the stick every time from whichever grip I'm using, and I can do that quite quickly and really getting quite a lot of power on the back stick there. Okay, and if I'm doing that properly, I'll pick up the other stick, I should be able to play double strokes with the back end of the stick. One of my favourite little backsticking sections is from a snare drum solo by John Wooten called Africa Hot, and it uses a little backsticking section in the left hand which basically forces you to be able to control your notes well, because it uses a few more complex patterns with that. It goes a little bit like this. So you see there's some accents, some double strokes, and variations on Swiss Army triplets and flam accents there, the Swiss Army triplets rather, using backsticking in the left hand. So there you have it, that's backsticking. And as usual, if you want to check out more of our free video blogs, learn more about drumming technique, or just look at all sorts of information on drumming, just check out drumclinic.com. That's drum-clinic.com.